Hello and welcome, disc golf fans, to the front nine coverage of round 3 of the 2021 Ledgestone Insurance Open, presented by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I am Brian Earhart, joined here by Nate Perkins, and we are back in the woods, Nate.
Northwood Black. It was nearly a 6-hour round. The first time that we play the course. Typically, things improve a little bit the second go around. Usually the scores are a little bit better. Usually the flow improves just a bit.
Yeah, we have a card of players that played great here yesterday, and we watched Andrew Marwede and Cole Redalen shoot fantastic rounds. But like you said, a lot of these holes are starting to get figured out. People are understanding where to attack and where not to attack. Let's see if anybody can attack Calvin Heimberg today.
Hole 1, you've got this gap that you have to hit directly off the tee. There's actually a ton of danger left. There's OB all along the left side of the hole and deep as well. This is such a beautiful starting hole. When you can see the basket at 450 feet away, dead straight pretty much.
Go in.
And this course is set up for Marwede's skill set so well. He loves those late drifting sidearms, and there's a lot of these long, subtle pushes to the left that he's been just eating up.
And Cole really impressed us yesterday. Looking forward to watching this kid's form.
Loves that subtle hyzer flip to flat. And he's at least safe. He's not putting for birdie like he was yesterday, but he is right there. And I love Joel Freeman as a player, as an individual, and as a fashion icon. Another phenomenal flex sidearm player.
Great to see him back out here after a season off.
Ooh, going hyzer flip forehand. Doesn't get it to stand up fully, but he's not in a terrible spot.
Emerson Keith has some history at this property. Shooting back-to-back 8 under par at Northwood Gold. Maintaining his lead at the 2019 World Championship, where he really showed the world that he was an elite talent.
And he's going to be putting for birdie. Speaking of elite talent, Cole showed us yesterday that he has that modern putting range that is almost alarming, how he can just snap a disc 100 feet with float, with accuracy. And this is Emerson to start off hot. Just low, but still beating the field. This hole averaged to 3.12. Bunch of threes for our card. And it always stings to kind of miss a birdie putt from circle. There's not that many opportunities compared to other places on tour to get that. Dainty little drop in for Andrew, and we're going to move on to number 2. What I really like about this hole is the fact that you can go mid-range on this hole if you have this snap for it. And I think that's what a lot of players are beginning to do. I think we originally thought we had to bend the corner, and really you don't have to even make the corner to attack the green for birdie. So it depends on what the player's skill set calls for, and for Andrew, this is a no-brainer for him to attack the corner with a forehand. Uphill flex.
Ooh, a little early. Does he make the corner? Almost.
I think he's going to have a stretch out. I think he's going to be able to at least throw a backhand, but like you said, he's pinched off right. Yeah, I think this is a buzz. I think he's thrown mid-range here.
Yeah, grip was definitely a little bit more of an issue during this third round. 85 degrees, but more importantly, 85% humidity.
And Cole gets great ground play and puts himself to a perfect position. He's even going to get to go mid-putter on this next shot if he wants.
And this is the angle that we typically see Joel throwing. This little Anheuser forehand.
And this is how he started disc golf. He said a Champion Boss was his first disc. And he's stuck with that for a long time. Look at that.
That's right.
Wow. Nate, jump back and talk to us about Joel's forehand.
Wow, he's really that. His arm is already kind of forward, you know? Like he doesn't reach back. It's already forward. The thing that you're going to see that's similar to everyone else that can pop it smooth like that is that lag.
Yes.
That elbow that leads at the very last minute. He doesn't need a big reach back. If he leads with that elbow and that hand and wrist just drag behind.
Yeah, gorgeous forehand from Joel. And Emerson was inches away from another just as beautiful sidearm. And now he's kicked off to the right side, and he does not have much of a look.
Uh-oh.
We will see where he ended up there. Cole with some uphill footing. Looked like Luna. Pin high, 30 feet.
It's great lighting.
I believe that's a little Firebird from Joel, and that just clips a skinny tree off on the left side.
Okay, yeah, he has a little patent pending right here. Beat it. Oh.
And that always stings, hitting your line, what you think is perfect, and then it just squares something that you thought you were able to miss.
Great recovery shot from Emerson.
No way. Oh, just in front. We are going to see a forehand clinic from these three players, and it's going to be interesting because Cole is not going to really get to take lines from a lot of these players. In the woods, Joel, Emerson, and Marwede are all very forehand dominant. And there we go from Joel, birdie. Downhill stepper.
Full flight on that. Here we go. Gatekeeper rewind. Palm to the sky.
Yeah, he has another one of those just pop push putts where he just throws his palm flat to the sky, pops the disc flat underneath with those two middle fingers. Great putt.
I think that's the only miss that we've seen out of him is the low miss.
Yeah.
Because he does have that low penetrating hyzer.
We haven't seen him blow high over the basket too often. You're right about that.
Hole number 3, the gap is 250 feet away from the tee pad here. Right-hand, backhand players need to get this to drift late. The forehand just needs to hit the gap flat and get some fade before it gets to that back wall. And we have quite a few trees to deal with. This is the widest gap of the 3 heading toward the pin, and you can't see this pin.
Heiser out of the hand from Joel, and that is not an overstable disc he just flicked. That is a great drive. Wow.
Huge. Prime position
And
right
he's going to get to go either flex sidearm or Heiser flip sidearm. I'm guessing he's going to go right side of that tree now.
Needs to fade. And it does. What a great shot from Marwede. He's throwing the Sexton Firebird right there.
So I have to give a shout out. I got called out by a fan from last round with Marwede on the card. So he was on Jomez a little bit ago and marked his lie with a cookie and ate it after he made the putt. He did that last round, and we didn't even see it. So please keep an eye out, Nate. I can't believe we even missed that. Cole with a beautiful looking sidearm. Pinched, but still might have a little something at the basket.
I also can't believe that we missed that.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the fans out there. And to Andrew.
Yeah, what a moment. What a moment in sports.
Typically likes to do it after he drops in a circle 2 putt. Just eating dirt.
Another really solid sidearm from Emerson. I mean, again, if you're working on your sidearm right now, this is the round to watch.
Yeah.
These are just phenomenal players. Heiser flip, flex, slow disc, fast disc.
What a shot.
And Cole kind of just throwing a Heiser, and he's got himself a 30-foot downhill look.
Tricky lie right here for Andy. Oh.
Get in.
Oh. Just burnt it over a little too much, but it gets a little lucky and nearly hits the basket. And that is a tough shot to throw right there. Emerson flipping that putter up, going dead straight.
And Joel having to go backhand here. Gets the angle. Puts it to about 25 feet. Great shot.
Think it was short enough?
All right, Cole's got an open look right here.
Wow, great putt for birdie. He is on the board, 1 under through 3.
Whoa!
Nice, Heiser putt.
That was so steep.
It's probably the only window he really had. And the only way you can get it through some of those tight gaps is by making the profile of the disc more vertical. That's a great birdie. And that's something that Joel has been mentioning this season, coming back The putting has been the thing that's been hardest for him to get back. And we've seen him throw the disc really well this season and struggle on the putting green. And let's hope that's just a one-time occurrence here. Hole 4. For this card of flex sidearm throwers, this is exactly the fairway you want to hit this landing zone. Flex sidearm to this gap, right about here is where you want to be. But it is a long way down the fairway. If you're throwing a backhand, you have to throw some sort of corkscrew, hard hyzer that moves left, flattens, and then late drifts. It is not easy, so looking at what Andrew's doing is very textbook. Doesn't have quite the height.
A little too much angle out of the hand. Early left is basically a pitch out to the landing zone. And here's the shot that you were just talking about, Brian, that Cole's going to attempt right now. The inside out hyzer stand up.
Yeah, this is tricky. This is really technical.
Needs to be hyzering while it's flipping up and drifting back and to the right.
Almost defying physics at this point.
So what makes this game so special is the multi-angle shots right here.
Stand up, drift right. Almost got it. He was
almost got it.
a degree away from getting that nose down in the late flight.
It's one of those things where maybe he doesn't hit that angle right, but maybe he throws it a little harder,
Yeah.
and then it wants to stand up a little bit more.
Yeah, this is a much easier shot to execute for Emerson.
I love Emerson's little kind of the rhythm that he has with his form, the little rock, the little step
Yes.
that he has right before he throws that forehand.
Yeah, he kind of throws his whole body into the forehand, too. Perfect in the landing zone right there.
I'm really surprised to see Joel not going with that flex forehand.
So he's going to be trying this hyzer stand-up. Let's see. That's a lot of height. It might be one of those things where in practice he threw as many flex sidearms as he could and never got where he wanted, and then maybe threw one backhand, hyzer stand-up and got there. And if you have the confidence and positive imagery, you kind of have to go with it.
Ooh, we got a tough little roll. Needs to get lucky.
It's awful.
Oh, it's a bad spot. He knows it.
Yeah, he might be on the edge for some sort of step-out sidearm, but I don't know. The rough out here is so thick that even if you are on the edge, it's really not easy to step out into the fairway. And this is Cole after his backhand did not quite get where he wanted. Oh, no. And he was trying to get aggressive there, and now he just has to pitch up to the landing zone. So he was a little deep of the landing zone, going patent pending backhand.
That was so good. Great shot, dude.
No way, look at this
Emerson
shot.
Keith, patent pending, just flexes it.
That was a
perfect.
driver. He threw a driver on.
Was
I
it?
believe that's an
Wow.
Explorer that he just threw. That is a sweet shot. Just being able to isolate the wrist like that and just keep it separate from your body and just pop it on the line you want with the speed. That is experience right there.
And great recovery shots from both Joel and Andy. And Cole gonna show us how far he really can putt. He's 110 feet away across the creek here.
Great
Yikes. Yikes.
I feel you, Brian. It's alarming is the word that you used earlier.
Great putt from Joel. I mean, it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. The more we have players like that on camera showcasing how you get a disc to fly that far on a putt, the more young kids growing up are going to see that and mimic those movements.
And every year, we're going to have more and more of the Coles and the Gannons appearing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it used to be like once every 2 years you would have an elite player
Like
pop
an
in
eagle.
the scene.
Yeah.
And now it's like a couple every year, and soon it's going to be like a dozen every year that you're just like, who's that? Who's that?
In this game, preparation is everything. It gives you that edge to become something from nothing. Success is not by accident. Because you know, the course plays no favorites. You know what it takes to be the best. In this game, detail matters. Idio Sports.
All right, hole 5 might have the smallest landing zone of all the holes out here. It's the shortest par 4, but this is only a 20 by 30 little rectangle that you can land in if you want a chance for birdie, and then you got a short little turnover or a short little chip flick around the corner. One of the few holes out here that is playing under par.
And Emerson just going straight up,
Get over that log.
forehand. And it might be too deep, but I'm not. I think he might have a little skip forehand. It's just a nice little change-up after all these big holes. That's perfect.
Yep.
It's exactly what you want.
Little Firebird skipper from there. And even on those little short shots, Joel still turns that upper body backwards.
Yeah, he still has kind of a huge approach even with a smaller shot. And Cole gets to a perfect spot again. We watched his form on this hole in the previous round. But again, watch how the disc and his back foot talk. And then, wow, I don't even have any critique, anything. The way he's throwing right now is beautiful. And the fact that everything stayed in timing on maybe a 50% speed shot, beautiful.
Here
Going
he is
Firebird.
again. Ooh, tough spot right here. He's going inside the tree.
Oh, no. This is such a short, old-school hole, and it's, like you said, the landing zone is so important. And that's a textbook birdie from Andy. That's exactly what you want to do. Averaging a 3.74 on the day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's early. Maybe circle 2, but I don't know how clean of a look he has.
Get in there.
Almost tossed it in.
Joel does a lot of putter flick throw-in practice, actually. He's one of the more practiced people that I've ever seen with that. So he runs these all the time. Cole for birdie from circle 2. Just on the edge. There it is again. Not quite popping at the very last second. Missing just a hair low yet again. Thrown the disc well. He's thrown the disc really well. Emerson taps in, and finally we get to Andrew's drive, or his second shot, and that's his birdie. Moving into number 6. This hole is interesting. Throw long and straight, and then if you get far enough, you can try to throw a driver and bend this corner. The issue is, most shots that bend the corner, since it's sloping down towards the backside, most shots that crest the corner will go deep into the rough. It's hard to land one on that bending fairway, and then you're pretty much having to scramble to get up to the basket. This is one of the harder holes in the course. Averaging a 5.68 on the day. And Andrew has smoked his drive. He's going to be able to go backhand around the corner and potentially have a look at 4. It just really depends on the spot you land in the rough. I believe that's an Explorer from Emerson.
Needs it to flip a little bit. So close.
Another one of those skinny trees that he's been hitting. Just needed a little bit more.
I want to say he's throwing the passion here.
Yeah, this is Paige Pierce's new disc. It's a slower fairway driver, and it's made for shots just like that. You throw it kind of like a beat-up Buzz on the same line, same amount of spin. It just goes a little farther and just holds such a beautiful turnover line. He was throwing it on hole 1, I believe, as well.
Too much. Come out. Yes. Good.
He says too much, but I think that's
Whoa,
the biggest
Joel.
drive I've ever seen on that hole. So there you go, Joel. He's going to be able to attack the corner, but we'll see what he goes for.
And Emerson laying that one down on the ground.
Very scary to do that, because being off the fairway on either side means you're wasting a shot to get back out.
Yeah.
And then attacking the corner again, you can't quite get around the corner to the basket. And that's why bogey comes into play so easily on this hole.
Look at that gap he just peered.
That's fine. Let's go.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
stoked just to even attempt that skinny gap. Marwede going FD. Needs it to slow down and make this corner. Look at that.
Wow, and he lands it on the fairway.
That's as good of a second shot
never
as
seen
I've
that.
seen.
That was the first time I had seen that all week. Normally those all skip deep or skip and roll.
Hard, dude. Kick it. Hit it. Yeah. Nice. Big kick.
Oh no, right off the spectator.
Yeah, kicked him back in the rough. Almost hits the same spectator.
He's just
At that point,
raising his arms.
He's
Look
like,
at him.
I gotta move.
Whoa. And you know, we were having some discussions about this hole and the way that it sets up and how far back and to the left that it actually moves. That it's really weird to think about where you actually need to plant your foot, Brian. Did
Yeah.
you have any of those instances out there? Where
You're talking about the lie in
Yeah, the
general.
lie where you actually don't throw behind your disc, that you need to be to the right of your disc
Yeah.
if you're on the first fairway.
Yeah, you think about that with a lot of these U-turn holes. Technically, your lie is supposed to be facing the basket, but it's kind of almost
Look at his turnover.
Nice shot.
He's putting for a 4.
Yeah, that's really rare on this hole. That's almost an eagle. But it's almost one of those unspoken things in disc golf where everyone knows where the lie should be going. Like if you're facing a U-turn and you have 2 shots down a 700-foot tunnel, your lie is facing the end of the tunnel. But technically, like you said, everyone's first shot in the middle of the fairway, they can't take a run up sideways like that. It's all technically a foot fault. So I wonder if that rule is ever going to get changed, or because you can't really fault somebody for taking an approach down the tunnel that leads to the basket.
Yeah. That is a phenomenal 4. You said it. It's almost like an eagle.
Yeah, I mean, again, it averaged a 5.68 on the day, so you're taking over a stroke and a half on the field there. And it's because one mistake could cost you 2 or 3 strokes. Cole is stoked to take a par in that.
The XT Nova, it taught me how to throw smooth, clean lines, but it also taught me how to build trust in my disc. I can put it on any line and it will hold it. I know when I throw it, it's gonna stick right there. I feel like it's very unique, and it kind of reminds me like nobody's ever the same. That's what I love about it. It stands out. And for me as a person, I like to stand out.
Hole number 7, 325 feet. This is a very Charlotte feeling hole to me. You have this right gap that looks tighter than the left gap, but they're pretty much the same width. It's just the left gap is a bit more direct from the tee pad, so you kind of get to choose one or the other. A lot of people are taking this left gap. Ooh, he did not turn that. Gets a very fortunate kick back out into the fairway. And again, $1 donation to OneTreePlanet.org every time there's a little bit of tree love in our cards. So this is a nice little bit of charitable donation here.
Almost got.
This is tight right here. The trees right off the pad on the right kind of prevent people from starting it out on Annie like Joel's about to try and do.
Just puts a little nose up to stabilize it. I like that.
Great shot.
Yeah. Anything in circle 1 in this hole is good. It's hard to absolutely pure the line. The shot that Emerson's about to throw is how you pure it. He's throwing an Explorer.
Yeah, he's just going to try and hit this one flat and let the disc do a little bit of the work for him.
Ooh, yeah, he just let go of that one early. Yikes.
Great timing.
So not a terrible spot, but this is a technical approach. Circle's edge.
Give him that cookie.
It's going to be dropping in a 3. Oh, almost drops it in from 60.
Ooh, obstructed circle 2 putt for M's par.
And that's going to be bogey for Emerson back to back. And Joel grabs a birdie.
It's a nice putt through that little gap right there.
Fantastic putt from Joel. And these bogeys can stack up on this course if you're not careful. So Emerson has a couple holes on this front nine that are still birdieable. But on the other hand, same thing. Bogey can creep into play very quickly.
Certainly here, Brian. Hole 8, 389. Got this early gap. Tree on the right, tree on the left, and you're throwing out over the out of bounds for the first 120 feet of the flight, and then you can see the stakes right there inside the circle. This is one of those holes that you have to commit to your line. You get a little timid, you're not going to make the gap. Gets the inside gap. Does he stay safe?
I think he's safe on the path on the left side.
That's a tricky approach right there,
Yes.
down the hill toward the out of bounds. And Andy is just loving this second run FD.
I believe there's some of the most coveted runs of FD. Is that correct?
That's right. Look at that. He gets the inside gap and it flips up late. That is a safe run from on top of the hill.
And here's Cole going with a buzz. I love this play. He's going to put a little bit of hyzer on it and just try to stand it up.
He says finally, but that buzz is drifting a little too much.
25 feet right of the basket on a frozen rope, and he is out of bounds. Luckily, well, I don't actually think he hit land. He's going to have to go to the drop zone. He went out of bounds pretty quickly. Another early release. But he got through. He's going to have a tough up to the basket. Here's Joel from that path.
Going putter Annie.
One of his best shots.
Look at this roll down the hill.
Yes, let's
go.
go.
Really? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's a 50-footer downhill to save par for Emerson. This is for birdie. Oh my gosh, he does not go to the drop zone. He takes it where it went out of bounds. And that's the putt he's been waiting for. That is a solid par save, and he has been scrambling for par really, really well.
It's interesting how the disc is on hyzer, but it never left the chains. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He didn't swing that disc. It was just dead straight, but flying on hyzer.
I have practice putted with the Lunas before, and again, there's something different about them. I truly don't know what it is. I've thrown them. I still throw them, and they fly just a little bit different and a little bit more neutral than any other putter that I've thrown. So there's a reason why a lot of players have switched to the Luna.
Reason A being
They
P McBee.
go a long way. They go a long way for a putter. Hole 9, 732. Long uphill flip up turnover. If you have the sidearm chops, you could definitely put one down here. The second shot is a long corridor of trees with some guardians. Tough birdie. This is one of the tougher holes in the course. Averaging a 4.46.
Yeah, it takes a really premium shot to get to the landing zone to then have a dead straight shot with guardians all around the basket.
Joel trying to get some flip on
Look
it.
at
This
that
looks
late
amazing.
drift. Oh no. That was so close to making the corner.
That could have been the biggest drive we've seen on the hole.
That thing drifted so late in the flight.
Luckily, he's up there and can at least pitch up and take a 4.
Andy does have the power to get this forehand Up and onto the landing zone. Needs a little bit more. He gets it. He's going to have tough footing, but he's going to have the straight shot.
And with how good Cole is at throwing the turnover, I'm interested to know his thought process on the flick. I mean, clearly he's up there a ways, but I guess when you have both, you have to choose one.
And Emerson, after 3 bogeys in a row, is looking to bounce back here.
This looks better. Oh, yeah. It's going to be still a tough up to the basket, but still he has an opportunity. Wow. That was popped out of his hand. Look at this shot, Nate.
Marwede is nasty. And Tree Love. Thanks again, Andy.
Cole just getting out into the open. Up and down for a easy par.
Emerson, same disc. I believe it's a Ballista Pro.
That's got to stabilize quick. Nope. Just a little bit higher, and he would have gotten the line he wanted. Just got the nose down a little bit too much. Forehand roller coming out for Joel after that really horrific kick. Not terrible. And a park job for Emerson.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those Guardians really like to stop the shots at 40 feet.
No problem for Joel. And this is for par for Cole. Can he save par yet again?
Ready to putt, left arm back.
Oh, high right side. Let's take a look at that catch one more time. Just the right amount of hyzer to grip the chains and pull back into the middle. Yeah, caught on one chain. Those are sometimes coin flips, and he won. So there's another par save for Cole. He is hanging in there really well.
Marwede drops in the birdie. What an up and down right there.
He is playing some really clean golf on a lot of the toughest holes, which is huge out here on the course.
What did he just shoot on the front? 4 or 5 down? I think he might have
Super
shot
clean. Super clean. And the birdies he took are not common birdies.
Yeah, he birdied 6 and 9.
And as Joel taps in his 4, we see the teeth of Northwood's black beginning
love that front 9,
to
Brian.
sink in. Phenomenal front 9. And yeah, 4 down in the front for Andrew Marwede. The back 9 is, if not more challenging, equally as challenging as the front. And as you see, the leaderboard has some serious shooters. 2 of them being in our card.
Oh, Kyle Klein shooting 5 down on that front 9.
Thank you again so much for tuning in. We will catch you on the back 9 for the conclusion of our rounds here at Northwood's Black, moving into Eureka on Sunday. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nate Perkins. We will catch you next time.